Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and we're back here with some more Killer Instinct. In this video, we're going to talk about my recent progression, basically where I progressed, where I still need to progress since I've started playing Killer Instinct. That was over a month ago now. KI released back along with the launch of the Xbox One in November. Since then, I've spent a lot of time with the game, not nearly as much as I should have if I, actually wanted to see any really rapid progression. The other issue being that I spend a lot of time switching characters, so I'm probably not where I could be in terms of progression, in terms of my skill level, but I'm still in a place where I'm happy. For someone who doesn't get to spend a ton of time just playing Killer Instinct, I mean, there's weeks where I only play it when I go to record a video, and I'll play it for 3 or 4 hours that day. And that's really not enough time. Anybody can tell you anything that requires you to have a lot of practice. And first-person shooters I've been playing my entire life. It's pretty easy for me to transist into just about any first-person shooter and do relatively well in it, and then become very good at it in several days. Whereas fighters aren't something that are part of my daily gaming routine. They're not something I'm constantly doing, and they require a whole different set of skills and muscle memory and just a lot of different elements to being good at a fighter. But that's why I decided to do this series in the first place, because I'm not that great at fighters, and Killer Instinct was a game that really intrigued me. So let's go ahead and start breaking down some of the things that, I recognize I still need to develop on. First and foremost, though, the matches you're seeing here, this first match, Jago here, was the first match where I won after a very long losing streak. I mean, it was so bad that I got knocked down from Youngblood all the way to Button Masher. I don't know what it was. I probably should have stopped playing ranked at that point, but I just get really frustrated and I just have to go back in and try and figure out what the hell I'm doing wrong. The thing is, at the Youngblood rank and the free rank, I'm running into people that I know aren't that good, and they're using really weird dirty tactics against me. The issue is I don't have the skills to counter those dirty tactics, which is purely my fault. There's no reason I shouldn't be taking these people out, just eliminating them and moving through the ranks. One example is I've been running into tons of people auto-jumping, just spamming jump. Seriously, just up and down jumping. Like one guy playing as Thunder would just jump up and down. Now, for someone who's skilled, that's an easy target, You just anti-air, knock him out of the air, and just continue to thrash him. Well, my anti-air is not something I can nail every single time. It's really hard for me to get the tight nuances on the controller, on the joystick. Playing with the fight stick was something I always did. I own a Street Fighter arcade stick. I own the Mortal Kombat arcade stick. And I've always gotten used to using those. So it would be nice to pick up a KI fight stick at one point in time. Right now, they're all out of stock. But I still can't blame that solely for all of my issues and all of my faults. There's no reason not to be able to make it work with the joystick. There are plenty of pro tournament fighters out there who use a gamepad rather than a fight stick. It's just as efficient. It's really just a matter of preference. And I do wish I had a fight stick. But I miss a lot of really small things constantly when I'm trying to do my dash, which could be something that could be really effective to avoiding an opponent's attack and then getting back into them. If I could learn how to dash every single time, just, on command, I just know it would be endlessly useful. But instead, I spend a lot of time crouch kicking because I completely miss the animation. It's a quarter turn, and I just miss it altogether. So precision, miss micro, those are all things that I need to work on a lot. I need to spend a little bit more time practicing. Anti-airs are a big thing that I really need to spend some time. I need to get into the practice arena. I need to just set a bot to jump and just anti-air the hell out of him until it's engraved into my head as to how to land the perfect anti-air. Of course, linking that into a combo would make it that much better. Luckily, though, after I fought that Jago, this is the thing. It's like when I get knocked down to Button Masher and free, the people there are just usually... I run into awful people. For example, this Glacius that I played up against, that Jago, they weren't really good, and the matches shouldn't be as close as they are, but when I run into people like this, I lose all sense of, defense, and I just go full-on aggressive, and I just try and slaughter them as quickly as I can, which I think is fine. I'd rather have a slightly close match, or at least have myself be on edge. Kind of helps you get used to the idea of just being on the edge all the time, oh, I'm just about to win. But this guy, he managed to get me down to a little bit on the second health bar, but it was still pretty much an absolute destruction. I ranked back up to free at that point, so that was great. That was nice. The other issue I have with Glacius, the one thing I really need to work on, is making use of his actual ranged abilities. He does have those sort of ice spike attacks that can pull and do auto attacks linking into them. So you fire one and then you can then auto 3 more that puts that person obviously in a state of just they're open. You know, that leaves them open for another attack, in which case I could then dash, go into a combo. And that's great for the people who like to camp back. There are a lot of people who like to play really heavy defense and really heavy safe and want you to just come at them. And as Glacius, that's a risky thing to constantly just have to attack somebody, you know, on the offensive who is much quicker than you, especially with the insane amount of Jagos and Saberwolves I've been running into. That's the last thing I want to talk about, is how I don't know if there's a smaller player basis for this game, if it's starting to lose players, which would be really sad because people are just getting frustrated, or they don't want to, you know, they don't want to continue to learn the game or something like that. But while I've never had trouble finding matches, I'm running into more and more Saberwolves and Glaciuses, just those two characters. And not that there's an issue with those two characters, you know, there's nothing wrong with them, it just sucks to not have that variety. Now, this was the first match I played against Sadira in a very, very long time, and it was a decent fight. You know, she wasn't bad at all. I missed a bunch of combo breakers, but she was a pretty good fighter, and I had some good fun actually fighting someone who has in my opinion, a really unique fight style. I like how she's sort of the controller of the air. She is up there. I mean, if you get up in her space, she's going to take you out. She's going to destroy you if the person controlling her is good enough. Whereas Jago and Saberwolf are just all ground dudes. I'm constantly fighting them. And it just gets really irritating. You know, I know there's other fighters in the games. I barely see an Orchid. I barely see Thunder. Once in a while I run into a Glacius. When I run into another Glacius, they're usually absolutely terrible. So I don't know if the player count is starting to dwindle for this game or what's going on. I hope it's not. I'd really like to see this game continue to grow, especially with 2014 coming, the release of 2 more fighters, as well as the story mode and a couple other game modes that I believe they've announced. I'm really genuinely looking forward to the future of KI and continuing to play this game throughout all of next year and forward and forward and forward, you know, and just into the future infinitely. And hopefully we'll continue to see more fighters, more content get released, and I will gladly buy it because I love what the team has done at Double Helix with KI. I love how they've resurrected this old series, and they've done such a great job. I mean, Double Helix was a team that was constantly thrown crap games to develop, and they're finally given a passion project like KI, and they just blow it out of the water. It's a wonderful, wonderful game. If you still haven't played Killer Instinct and you own an Xbox One, what the hell are you doing? It's been Tony Mo, and I'll see you guys in the next one.